Joining us this evening is Jacqueline Hessenauer, who is a compassionate therapist and an embodied inquiry practitioner who works at a powerful intersection where body, psyche, and spirit meet. Now, through trauma-informed somatic injury, conscious dialogue, and consent-based touch, Jacqueline helps people reconnect with their bodies, restore their sense of safety, and access the wisdom that life brings and bestows within them. There's much to talk about. Jacqueline, firstly, welcome to African Diaries.
Thank you. Thank you, Shayla.
Jacqueline, I mean, for those who are wondering, for 10, 12, and 16.3 marks, what is an embodied inquiry practitioner? First time seeing it for me, I will be honest. I did do a bit of reading, but I'd love to hear how you describe this.
Okay, so some aspects of ourselves we can't just access through talk therapy. We have to go directly to the body. So I begin my work with people through the talk therapy, through meeting the mind. So that's sort of in the neocortex, where we meet in the mind space. But then I need to help people move deeper into the feeling part of their body. I mean, I think, in Africa, a lot of people, when you speak to people, they don't just share information in terms of knowledge. When they're feeling, they share a lot of feeling information. So I want to access that feeling information. So then I have to access it through the body. So say now there's some kind of trauma or wound in the body, I'll ask the body, where is it? Where are you feeling this? And then I'll put my hands on that part of the body and I'll hold it and I'll talk to it. It's like therapy for the unconscious lost parts of us in the body. And it's actually quite amazing what comes up. Of course, there's many other ways I can access it, but that's just one very direct way.
Sheesh, Jacqueline, does the person say, I mean, you spoke of speaking to the body and the body responding. Is this a verbalized response? Is it a motion, a movement? What happens?
All of that, sometimes someone can be in a frozen state and be very quiet and they need a little bit of encouragement or time. My mantra is actually almost the slower I go, the faster I go, because I'm working with the nervous system. So it's not about speed or getting there quickly. It's about really giving someone the time to be with whatever needs time. And then it could be sounds, it could be movement, and oftentimes there is dialogue. There is an expression, and it's helpful a bit when that happens because then I can see where someone's at and what they're struggling with. So generally, they will share some words with me.
Just a bit of context, you were bestowed the Dakini Lineage through your teacher. For myself and anybody else that's listening who's never heard of this term before, what is Dakini and what's the lineage thereof?
Okay, Dakini is actually a Tibetan word and it means sky dancer. So I love the word. It's beautiful. And the word sky is referring to the mind and then dancer to the energy. So when we have like a confusion or ignorance or fears or even like lies in our mind, it creates a constriction of energy in the body. Like imagine like we thought there was some danger outside. We would be holding a position. And then when that thought left the mind, the body would change. So the sky is like the empty mind, the mind that isn't holding false information or conditioned information from the past. And as the mind relaxes, the body relaxes and the energy moves. So our bodies can become more spontaneous and alive. We see that in children. We see that in people that are more free in themselves, that kind of freedom. And so there's that connection to the body and the mind and energy. And from that place, the Dakini is very committed to supporting people from a very compassionate place because the Dakini is very much embracing her human self and her experience. And so embrace people in a very compassionate and understanding way, but with a feminine wisdom that actually gets informed from the womb space. It's a very feminine energy. And we meet that in Africa a lot. I mean, if I had to ask you, Shayla, do you know a wise woman in Africa? You'd be like, oh yeah, let me introduce you to my grandmama, or
Yeah.
to my sister, or to myself. It's like,
Yeah.
and the thing that the women have here is a very strong connection to feeling, which is the superpower of woman. The more we can feel, the more we can access wisdom. But the Dakini lineage, so we're doing that, we're accessing the feeling and the wisdom, but we also very much trying to clear the mind of confusions and so forth, so that that wisdom can be a very much supportive energy for other people on their path home to themselves and to love,
You often describe the Dakini as a guardian of thresholds. So things like birth, trauma, sexuality, and the awakening. What does it mean to guide someone through these kinds of thresholds? And what is threshold in context?
So threshold's a doorway, and it's that place between spirit and form. So Shayla, have you had a child?
No, not
No.
yet.
Okay, but maybe well, if you've ever been at a birth or even at a death, it's like in a birth, at a birth or a death, or in sexuality, it's possible that doorways open. Well, not just possible. Between birth and death, the doorway opens for the soul to come or the soul to leave. So there's a door towards spirit. So it's a threshold. It's a doorway. And it's a time when people, if they can stay really present with themselves and not get caught, like birth, some people can have a lot of fear around birth. Let's say there can be a lot of pain around death. And if it's too much, of course, there's going to be some, or a lot even, but if it's too much, a person might miss that doorway where they can connect between their human self and the eternal self. And the Dakini can just help the person really stay present in themselves by bringing a body of awareness, and where my body is not going into those deep fear states or whatever's happening, and I can invite them to really stay present in that moment, to meet that threshold where they can have a true taste of something beyond the material, the eternal, the spirit, their soul. They can taste their soul.
Sure. Jacqueline in the building. Listen, we are learning a thing or two with compassionate therapist and embodied inquiry practitioner Jacqueline Hessenauer joining us this evening. And we're getting into an even deeper state of intimacy, talking about thresholds and doors and pathways and the Dakini. If you've got questions and you're like me, curious and just ready to learn, find me on WhatsApp +2783 288 6684, or you can comment live on our current live stream on YouTube. 30 minutes after 11 p.m. Central Africa time. Let's continue this conversation, Jacqueline. And I think I want to get into the state where we understand how the Dakini functions for couples, because I can see the sense that one would get for personal growth, right? It's Shayla learning to connect with Shayla. I can see that being fruitful. But in the context of two people, how does the Dakini find root, and what exactly are we connecting?
Sure. I think, like it's been said that one of the most challenging things on this planet is to truly love another human being, And in the tradition I'm from, that field of love you step into, the love chamber, the bridal chamber, whatever you want to call it, in partnership, it is a pathway to the divine. So, but it is important to remember, to love another, we have to have begun with the love of the self. It's really important to remember that. And to remember, I always say to people, if it's marriage, let's say, or deep partnership, you're not getting married because you love one another. You're getting married to learn how to love one another. That marriage is the classroom of love. And there's so many challenges one's going to meet in that classroom. And how do I keep returning to it? How to remember, for example, simply that relationship is actually more feminine in nature than masculine, that it has like the season. In life we have seasons. We have the spring and summer and winter, and relationship also has seasons. And what happens, in spring it's like wonderful and summer's really nice, but what happens when we get into a very deep, dark winter? Do we just walk away, or do we remember the seasons and remember the feminine nature, the cyclical nature of relating and love? And that maybe in the winter I need to retreat into myself and integrate some of the things I've been learning in this love affair with my partner. And if I'm conscious, I'm going to look at my partner and the things that are coming up. I'm going to see how maybe these are unconscious aspects in myself I need to meet right now. And so the Dakini is there to support that journey into love, and to keep, where the partners might forget, there's something here coming up for me to look at. Like perhaps my relationship with my father was troublesome and there's pain there, and now I'm in that with my partner, and it's come to let me see, to bring it to the surface, to heal maybe my own relationship with my masculine within me. So there's simplicity to it and incredible beauty, and there's complexity and there's great challenges, as we all know. So the Dakini walks beside and helps if people need that help. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, sometimes they can find their own way. But I feel like currently we've forgotten a lot about how to truly love one another.
Sure. I want to talk about the concept of looking back to I suppose, what appeared to be better days. All right. So you set up this beautiful analogy: summer, autumn, winter, spring. Spring in the summer is beautiful, but a really dark, cold winter. That could be a very tumultuous time in a relationship, a difficult time. Ours is to look back. I have a theory about that, right? Because if we're looking back, we can't push through the winter because we're not focusing on what is in front of us. Is it really that human beings do not know how to deal with a difficult time, such that ours is to stay reminiscent of better times, to be able to go through a bad time? Because I question, are we becoming better by looking back?
I think it's also helpful to notice the beauty of the winter. There is beauty in winter. It is a time sometimes to go in, to rest, to have a different kind of conversation with your partner, And I feel like to look back and remember your celebrations, the victories you've had when you couldn't find your way through a mess together, and then you found your way through. Like to celebrate small things, to celebrate, when you come home and your partner's so happy to see you. To remember, to remember where we have walked. I think as human beings, sometimes when we meet a difficult time, because for some reason on this planet, we're supposed to be happy and shiny all the time. And I'm sure every human being knows that it isn't like that. Everybody has hard times, So it's good to remember what the goodness that has been without trying to cling to it, realizing that it's been, and now we're in this, which might be more challenging. We don't know how to meet each other right now. It's got a bit dark, it's got a bit cold. But remember that spring will come. And there's a reason why we're in this now. Well, maybe it's a time where we have to learn to love ourselves again. Or maybe it's even time to reach out to I truly believe, I have this image where I call it the village of love, where there's a village of love and then there's the beloveds inside that village. So there's you and your partner in this beautiful learning pot of love, which is very sacred and very powerful. But there's also the community around you. And maybe the winter can sometimes be about even reaching to that community, to other people you love. that kind of dance between the two. I think sometimes couples isolate too much. So all kinds of things can come out of that winter. And this isn't formulaic, Shayla. It's there is resonance, there is something we can all relate to, and then there's your journey, which is individual and personal and has to be met in the moment for the wisdom, the intuitive wisdom to rise, to help you go deeper into love. And everybody's journey is a little bit different.
Jacqueline, you described such a beautiful state of being, that village of love. Is that sacred sexuality as well? Is it part of that analogy?
To be honest, Shayla, this is a kind of almost new image coming to me where I feel like a spiritual part needs to be alive, and to be alive, it evolves, and then it's constantly revealing another edge to where we can go into love. So I'm working with the Village of Love, and at the moment on Earth, I'm also really focusing on all beings are precious. I like to say, all, like in the Tibetan, all beings precious, and I include not just human beings, but life on Earth, because I believe that the true wealth is in the abundance of life, that I can wake up to the song of bird and fall asleep to crickets singing and children laughing. And I feel like one of the pains of relationship is when we separate from that village of love, and because I feel like that and not everybody is fortunate enough to be blessed with a beloved sacred sexual partner, however you want to call that, husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever it is, But if one is, it's like you want to find the awareness, the consciousness to grow that love, so that it can become an abundant force, so that when you go down to the store, you can greet the person helping you with just a little bit more connection, a little bit more love. And when you hold the child, you can hold that child with just a little bit more, wonder and enchantment. Or when you greet your mother, you can do it with just a little bit more, it's just delight in seeing her. It's like to share that love into the world, I think is really important, and to see that the love is between all of us. But yeah, the sacred sexuality, there's a place for that, and there's a crucible in a way for that to grow. But can we share that into the world? I know that's a different way of thinking, and does it make sense?
It does, Jacqueline. It actually does. It is 21 minutes before midnight in Central Africa time. We are still in conversation with none other than Jacqueline Hessenauer, joining us this evening, compassionate therapist and embodied inquiry practitioner. We do have just under 5 minutes to complete this conversation. So if you want to send through your questions, you want to send them now as we take this quick break. 19 minutes before the show comes to an end, we are still in conversation with Jacqueline Hessenauer, who is a compassionate therapist, as well as an embodied inquiry practitioner. Jacqueline, you have a workshop dubbed Mind Body Awareness Workshop. So just as a one-liner, what is it that you do during these workshops?
One-liner. They're quite varied. I'm having a workshop for women where we're going to connect to the feelings in the womb and really feel them and clear them, and that helps also the lover energy. When the womb is full of old feelings, it's hard to really connect in making love. And then I'm having a pilgrimage into love, a 21-day journey where people can start connecting to their heart and the sacred sexuality, because of course heart and sacred sexuality are completely connected. Many people disconnect heart and sex, but without heart there's no sacred sexuality. So we're going to go into that 21-day pilgrimage to explore that deeper through practices, meditations, conversation, and so forth.
Sure.
Does that help?
It does. Because I know that you have a bit of a demonstration that you have prepared for us, for the listener, he, she, they, who's currently tuned in. So please do walk us through it. Okay,
so it's quite a simple practice. And if you like, Shayla, you could play along, and you could be part of this practice. Would you like? I mean, you can see how you go. It's gonna be a little bit vulnerable, and remember, vulnerability is a door to intimacy. So, but you can decide what you like to, if you want to share anything that's coming up for you. Otherwise, it will just be a simple, some questions for the listeners, for them to speak out loud for themselves at home. But if you want to do it, then yeah, see how you feel. Okay.
Sure thing.
Okay. So the first thing is to just connect a little bit more to yourself and your body. Like, even like if you feel like the tips of your toes, and like even if we feel the tips of our toes, a little bit of more of us is present in this moment. Connecting a little to your breath, softening and just relaxing a little into your body. And really just feeling yourself more present and letting your body be soft. So like we hold our bodies in positions, but if you soften the body, the energy can move a little bit more. So I am going to address the mind, the heart, and the sexual nature. And when I talk to the sexual nature, there's a tantric term, yoni. It is the feminine sexual nature, and the masculine is lingam, and it refers directly to the sex itself. So I will address those three areas, because when we're looking at needs, which a lot of people think they've got on top of or something, but needs are really important. For example, in the summer of romance, there's different needs, but when you go into the winter of romance, there's a complete set of different needs that you need. So it's very important to become aware of the layers of needs as we go through life and meet different aspects of and challenges of life. So this is a small practice to help us connect to needs and to feel the alignment between three major centers within us, to turn our eye into us instead of out of us. Okay. So the first one is just to connect into the mind space and sense the mind and open to your mind. So opening to your mind and inviting your mind forward. And as you connect in, I ask you, mind, what do you need? And if you like, you can answer out loud or not, and see how you feel. But to the listener, please speak out loud to yourself. Mind, what do you need? Now connecting to your heart, really feeling deeply into your heart and inviting your heart to be more present. And sometimes when you do this, you might feel there might be some hurt there or some ache there. And don't move away from it. Move towards it. It's okay. We don't have to fix anything. We don't have to change anything. Just be with your heart right now. Invite your heart a little bit more into this moment. Heart, what do you need? And it can be as simple as, I need to love. You know, sometimes we stop ourselves from loving for whatever reasons we have, and that's very painful. And then I'm going to just ask the sexual nature. So I'll ask sexual nature so men and women can be with it. Now I'm going to ask Yoni and Lingam. Yoni, Lingam, what do you need? And we can be surprised. we think it might be some fierce, passionate answer, but it could be something like, I just really want to be touched slowly and gently, can be like that. And this is a very beautiful practice to do with your partner or with even a friend. But if it's for helping with relationship, to really sit and ask this of each other and be very present and really listen and open to what your partner is saying. So you take a turn to go through the 3 centers and then you switch. That can be very, very beautiful to do together. Very nourishing, especially when you share the answers, because the answers are vulnerable. It's vulnerable to share from these places, and that invites intimacy. Yeah. How was that for you, Shayla? Did you go along with it?
I did. So mentally, right? Because I'm like, I don't know what spillage will come onto air, but I did listen to you mentally, and I think it was a beautiful thing to be seen, heard, and appreciated. I think that was the first sense and feeling that I got, to ask a specific question, not at you, but really wanting to hear from you, and different parts of yourself. So yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It's such a simple practice, but how often do we actually sit with one another and really, with a real interest, ask you, what do you need?
Yeah.
And it can be what you want and what do you desire, but that need, it's very vulnerable, because need, when we learn about need, we're very young. We learn about needs when we're infants and young children. So when you go into needs, you're accessing a very vulnerable part of that person. Yeah.
Jacqueline, we are going to have to cap it here. That was beautiful, sensational. Thank you so much for joining us this evening and helping us connect better to self.
Shayla, it was lovely to meet you, and I've just met your show, and the little bit I've seen of it, I think it's wonderful. I think you're very, very good at what you do. I think you're a great presenter, and I'm really honored that you invited me to be here. Thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you, Jacqueline, the voice there of compassionate therapist and embodied inquiry practitioner. That is Jacqueline Hessenauer joining us this evening. I don't know about you, but I'm very relaxed. Almost to the extent where we could say goodbye now, but we're not going to do that. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to take a quick breather, and then we'll chat tomorrow's touch of the Afro Republic.